everyone, this is Billie. Welcome to Billie Holman Creations. I am going to go ahead with another Thanksgiving tray or fall tray for the season and for the holidays. And what I have here is a very large tray that I got from a, we call it the Youth Ranch, but it is a discount store or a thrift store in my area. And this is plastic. It's a big plastic tray with a beautiful pumpkin on it. Now this tray measures 18.5 by 13.5, so it is large. And we are going to be working with resin today. And I do want to save this pumpkin. So the first thing I need to do is trace this pumpkin. So back with the acetate again today. I am just going to lay some acetate down, and it is going to be rough side up. So my marker, which I'm going to use to trace with, will adhere to the acetate. And then, well, then I won't tell you what we're going to do next. But first of all, we are going to trace this pumpkin. So I'm just going to put my acetate down so it will stay put and not jiggle with me or jiggle around. And where's my end piece? Well, I need to move that over just a skosh. It barely fits this 8.5 by 11 sheet. I want to make sure I'm able to trace the entire pumpkin. Where's my edge? There's my edge. And I have a smaller piece here to use on the stem. So let me cut this off so it's not in the way. And we'll take this down. Okay, so I'm going to take my Sharpie. I'll do the tray this last, but I'm going to take my Sharpie and start tracing. So let me pull you down a little bit because you're like 3 feet off the bottom here. So I'm going to jiggle. Hold on. I can slowly get this down a little bit. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I'll give you a hint though, we're not doing seed beads. No, that was a chore, but it sure turned out pretty. So thank you for watching my video on the seed bead cornucopia and your beautiful comments. I thank you so much. It did turn out really, really pretty. So if you bear with me, I'm just going to begin to trace. Well, I can bring that right up here, I think. Trace this cornucopia. Pumpkin. Oh my goodness, I've got cornucopia on the brain. But I just want to get it all traced. Move my acetate over. And then we have several steps. And of course, you know me, I don't really plan it out. It's in my head. But I didn't want to waste this beautiful tray, and it cost me 75 cents. So, you can't, that's a great price for this big, beautiful tray. But we're going to fix it up. And I know resin sticks to this plastic very well. I've done it before in previous videos. It's quite deep. And I don't want to use, a lot of resin because it's so deep. But I do want to be able to use some of my resin pieces, my leftover resin scraps. So bear with me, and I'm just going to start to trace. And I've had a busy week, I must say. My friend Linda was here for 4 days. She just left this morning. This afternoon, I'm doing my last art fair, and it is a 3-day show. So today is Thursday. So this afternoon I'm going to go and set up, and then the show runs from Friday, tomorrow, through Sunday. And I'm going to do my best to have this project finished for you so I can put up this video on Sunday. And then I am done for the year, and I will take the time to get a lot of the items that I have on my storefront that I purchased, and I need to get all my items on there. Oh goodness, I'm not doing well on that. But anyway, I'm going to be quite busy for the next 4 days, and keep up. I just need to keep up with you because I don't want a late video like last week, and I apologize for that. Then all I have to worry about is the holiday, and I have some music gigs for the holiday coming up. And then winter's gonna be here, and I will have your undying attention, I hope. Which brings me to thank you for everyone who has subscribed with me. I appreciate you all so very much. And if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up, and share if you'd like to. So this has been a lot of, whoops, I missed part of that edge. This has been a lot of fun for me. So I will fast forward here. There, I believe I have it all. I can remove the tape, get these pieces off. Leave that there, I imagine, right? Just tape it there. All right. There is our pumpkin. I'm going to put this aside. Now that I have the pumpkin, I'm going to go outdoors or in my shop, and I'm going to spray paint this outer rim, and I believe I'm going to do it black, and we will doctor that up shortly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to cut the sections apart, okay? And I'm going to try to just go on the middle of the line and cut all these pieces out.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for...
Okay, there are our pieces. And if I can put them together like they were or close to it, let's see what we have. I'm going to go get something else, and I'm going to go outside and just spray paint that rim of the tray, and plus take a picture of this pumpkin so I know exactly where I'm at, okay, when we put it together. Be right with you. Okay, well, the tray is painted black. I went ahead and painted the whole thing black, and I did put some tape underneath the edges, so the bottom hopefully will still be white. Now, I have laid out some wax paper, and I received this book. Well, I bought this book. I didn't receive this book of paper. I was in Michael's last week because I had no orange paper whatsoever, no orange scrapbook paper. So I went ahead and I found this booklet with 12 by 12 pieces of decorated paper, and these are fall colors. So I went ahead, well, I did have this actually. Dusty left me this piece of orange. So I pulled several patterns out of this booklet. There's some pumpkins, there's some logs, leaves. There's a scene with more leaves, little gold branches, a solid sort of orange, a lighter orange, and then this plaid with the gold, and a piece of green that I had. Yes, that was in this booklet too. So I pulled out these colors, and what we're going to do is make a patchwork piece with these papers. So I have my pumpkin down. Whoops, it shifted. Anyway, there are my pieces cut out. I've got my paper pieces ready. And what I think we're going to do is we're going to Mod Podge our papers to these acetate pieces. And then we'll get to the edging and whatever in a little bit. But, you know, these pieces of paper are rather bland, but I think I'm going to figure out a way to dress them up just a little bit. So I've got my Mod Podge. Now this is a matte finish. Doesn't really matter. It's going to, the resin will make it shine anyway. Plus, using the Mod Podge, we're going to seal our paper so we can put it in resin. I could have put this all together and laminated the whole piece, but it's too big for my laminator, so I'm not going to use that. We're just going to go with good old Mod Podge. And I've got my Mod Podge brush here. And I thought, first of all, I'm going to start with the stem. We'll take a few pieces of this green. Now, where did I put the little piece? I piled it over to my side. To my right, I have another small countertop over here. And, oh, there's my green. I've got that green and this green. So, we're just going to go ahead and start with the stem. I thought I would go ahead and use this green for the stem. I'm just going to cut out a piece of that here, because we're going to put it on the top. So let's just do that. Set aside. I'm going to use this green for the tendrils. Like that. Okay, and now I'm just going to go ahead and Mod Podge. So this is what I'm going to do with all the pieces, and I will definitely fast forward so you don't have to go through all of that. But I'm going to put the Mod Podge on the acetate and the paper on top. So I'm going to go to the side right here, if you can see. Get a little Mod Podge on my brush. And we're just going to get the acetate covered here. Oh, I'm almost empty on that one, but that's okay. I do have some glossy, but I don't think I'll run out yet. Just going to get the Mod Podge there. Put on my paper. I'm not going to worry about the top yet. We're just going to put that down. Set it aside. And we're going to let that dry. All right, and I'm going to do the same to the tendril. Make sure I'm on the right rough side up. And that's how I'm going to do all of these pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. And I just wanted you to know that freezer paper and Mod Podge works great together. I do all my Mod Podging on freezer paper. Oops, I gotta go this way, don't I? No, I don't. Duh. And it works out fine. And once again, we'll let that dry, and then we'll cut out our pieces. So a lot of cut and paste is what we're doing. Now, I'm not sure what color I would like the middle piece, so let me grab these pieces. And I think because we have glitter on this piece, I think I'm going to do the plaid for the middle part. So let me just grab this. I'm going to Mod Podge on this side. It gives me a little more room, and I hope you can see. And here we go. All pieces are done. I just stuck my finger in my Mod Podge. So I'm going to let them dry. And when they're dry, I will cut them out. So I shall see you all in just a little bit. All right. Stay tuned. Well, that didn't take very long. I think they're dry enough to cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting out these pieces. And I'm going to get, you know, as close to the acetate as I can, so our pattern will match up. And then I'm going to put a very generous layer of the Mod Podge on top of our paper. We'll just get as close as we can here. We're not going to see this bottom bit with the marker on there, so that won't be a problem. Just going to get as close as I can. And if it overlaps when we put the pumpkin back together, that shouldn't be a problem either. If so, we can just trim it. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these done. Okay, let me see if I can't put this back together. What do you think? I think that's pretty good. I'm not going to worry about that. So now I'm just going to put a real good thick coat on the top and let these pieces dry thoroughly. And I'm going to get ready to go to my show, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So take care, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you in a little while. Bye. Well, hi, everyone. My goodness, I'm back. I did not get to work on this project for 5 days now, and I am so sorry this is late. My goodness, Thursday was setting up for my craft show. That was a fiasco, total fiasco. I don't even want to go into it. I was just, I was a pretty angry girl that day. And then 3 days of the show, getting home at 8 o'clock at night. And today is Monday, and I slept all day. I mean, this old gal, oh, I was beat. Anyway, my apologies for being so late. And I will have your undivided attention because I have no more art fairs or festivals for the rest of the year until springtime. So what I've done is I've got 2.5 cups of my amazing clear cast resin. It has been stirred and it's ready to color, and that was 20 ounces. I spray painted the tray black inside and out, and I am going to put some resin in that tray and try to use extra resin pieces, because this is going to be a lot of resin for this tray because it's a large tray. And right now, this is my Just For You online UK black color paste. And let's see, thought I better use this because I've had it for some time and I don't know how long it would be good for. So we're just gonna color black. It doesn't have to be opaque because the tray is opaque. Black, we're gonna stir that in, but I do want it to cover our filler. So for kicks and giggles, let's just add some more of this. Just add some more. And see what happens. So I hope you're all well, anticipating the holiday season. I'm doing okay, although I don't know that I'm gonna go all out this year. It might be pretty low-key in this household. That's another story too. Anyway, goodness sakes. Let's get this into, oh, you know what? Still, I guess I do need it opaque because I don't want the others, the filler, showing through. Let's put in some India Black Bombay ink. I'm just going to really give this a couple of good squirts. That should do it. I wasn't thinking for a minute. I need it black. Well, anyway, I was going to tell you, I did sell some antler carvings. I sold some of my card holders. I sold the seahorse. Remember the beautiful little seahorse I did a few videos back? That is now gone. And my Valentine's tray with the vintage Valentines, that is gone. Oh, what else? On the top of my head, I had a pretty fair show, but it wasn't like last year. And I think that's understandable, but that's okay. All right, here's our tray. And it's plastic, and I spray painted it. There's an area there that the paint came off, but that makes no mind either. It's big. I put my tape away, but it's a good sized tray. And I'm going to give it a little squirt of alcohol. Let's kind of wipe that down a little bit. And it's, you know, it's rather bendy, or it doesn't sit flat, but I think the weight of the resin will take care of that. So, filler, here we go. I have saved, all the pieces of miscellaneous resin pieces that didn't work out, or they were just scraps, and I've saved them all. But first of all, I'm going to start with these plastic pieces. Now these are melted beads, and I did well, like wind chimes several years ago with these, and I didn't like them. I didn't like these. So I'm just going to set some of those in, but first let's get a little layer of resin in here. Just a layer. And when we do the pumpkin on top, we are going to use clear. Wipe that off. That's a lot of resin, but see if I can't move it around a little bit. I thought about using UV resin to try to set these pieces in, but we're just gonna hope this works out. Pardon the glare and the reflections. Could do this. Bring that down here. Hopefully I can cover all of it. And the edges, we might add a little gold leaf to the edges. And I am going to put clear resin over top to protect it all. So, all right, I'm just going to shimmy these in. Now these were actually done outside in a toaster oven where you could melt plastic beads and put them in different shapes. This was a small cake pan, these big rounds, and then I used cookie cutters, and they were pretty cool. But you know me, I won't do it again. I just go through one kind of project and I'm tired of it, or I'm, you know, I guess I just get bored. I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. We're going to put this one here. It's going to use up quite a bit. And oh, these aren't too terribly thick. Not quite 1/4 of an inch, I'd say. Oh, maybe they're just a little over 1/8 of an inch tall. So we're going to put those in there. I hope they don't raise. And this, for instance, is one of those beads where some of the beads didn't melt. It was a star, it broke. But just little things like that. I'm going to use them up. See if that'll fit down there. Squeeze them in. Oh, what else do I have in here? Little pieces. Some are too big, but we're going to use them. Here's a Christmas bulb I tried with glitter and the top piece broke, so we're going to throw that in there. There's just a little round of the bottom of a mixing cup. Maybe I have another one of those. But you might as well use them because, you know, it's not cheap, this resin. Just put a few pieces in. I mean, it's not going to take, you know, it's not going to save a lot, but it will save some as far as the expense goes. A piece here, I wonder where that will go. Too big. Anyway, oh, I did something. Don't do this. I took some resin pieces, scraps, and I thought, well, maybe I can melt or break these up in a coffee grinder. You know, because coffee grinders, they grind hard beans and stuff. Well, don't do that because I just totally buggered up my coffee grinder. I'm going to use these pieces anyway. Yeah, that was a bummer. So, just going to throw these in. But yeah, just fried it. It started smoking in the whole gamut. So, don't have one of them anymore. It did chop them, but, you know, it was a one-time only, one-time only deal. Wipe this off. See what else I can find. This is a letter with candies in, and that didn't work very well. I dribbled on this side. I want to wipe that off. And let's see, what else do I have here? I have some little clear pieces I could put in. Might have to take some out, but that is okay. This one will, should get my tweezers out. Put that over there. Yes, use what you have. It works for me. Get those down there. Scoot this over here. Okay, that's about all I can put in here. I was even going to put this, you know, this will be good to break and use it and put it in something else or fix it up. All right, here we are. Let's get this poured. Hopefully I can cover the majority of all of this up. It's probably going to be just enough. Get these edges here. They don't seem to be floating, so that's good. Big pieces anyway. That might have to come out. Pardon the scraping sound. Okay, I'm going to put you on pause and hit this with the heat gun and make sure the bubbles are gone and that everything is sunk, and then we're going to go on to the pumpkin itself, so I will be right back. Okay, let's work on the pumpkin. The tray is on my leveling board and it is covered to set up for the night. These are both covered with Mod Podge, both sides, but I want to stabilize this piece so I can get it somewhat put together and I can work with it so we can decorate it. I'm going to use some blue painter's tape and just on the top use a few little pieces to put this together from the top. So as best way I can estimate this, I'll cut this in half. See where we are. Need to get this bow out of it. I did have something heavy sitting on these, but they still curled. I guess that's okay. We'll get it figured out. Might have to do a little moving around when it comes to the stem. That's going to be the tricky part, I think. There are gaps. And I'm hoping clear resin will shine these pieces up a little better than they are. So I'm still thinking about how I'm going to accent this. But let's see how it's going to work out. curls around, something like this. Hope you can see me okay. Oh, I have to thank you for your comments for my last project, the seed bead cornucopia tray. I'm sorry I have not responded to your comments yet. I will get to those hopefully this evening. I do appreciate you all liking and commenting. It means a world to me. You're also kind. Thank you so much. Okay, I think it's going to go like that. So I did get some clear contact paper. See if I can't get this laid out on that. So we can flatten this down. Get a couple more pieces on here. All right, now the tricky part. This is your regular clear contact paper. Get it about anywhere. And I'm gonna try to, I guess I didn't need that big of a piece, did I? Cut some of this off so it's a little more manageable. Always good for something else. Okay, now start by just peeling back section. Maybe I can tape that down. I'm up in the corner putting tape down, if you can't see me. It's not going to stick very well to my silicone mat. All right, let's just start it. I'm gonna have to stand up so I can see. Get this right on that paper. There we go. Now, cut some of this excess off. I'll be fighting it. Okay, I have a brayer. Let me just get this down the best way I can. Just get it to stick. It's gonna curl. It still wants to curl. couldn't think of any other way to do this. Okay, let's flip it over. Look at that. This is going to stay on, so once it's in the resin, it's there. I have this little Cricut piece here. Do you know I haven't used my Cricut but maybe once, and it's had it for several years. I need to really get to using that because it's probably going to be very beneficial with some resin pieces. The air bubbles out. I don't think resin's going to get into this. There's a pretty good gap there. Might have to move that piece. There's air right there. I can see it. All right, I'm going to remove the tape and I'm going to cut close as I can to the edges of the pumpkin, and then maybe we will be able to start embellishing. I'll be right back. Well, I looked through my trimmings. Wish I had a little bit of gold cord, just a fine gold cord to go around here, but I don't. So the closest thing I have is this adhesive diamond wrap that I had got at our Family Dollar. So I thought I would use that, and I did have a little bit of this green, which is the same type of stuff that we could go around with on the stem. Now this is an adhesive. This is, I don't know how adhesive it is, but I do have my glue gun heated up and ready to go just in case. So I will probably fast forward this and just start in on laying this down. We'll see how it turns out, okay? Alrighty, here we go. Well, I'm going to stop now and continue on, and I don't know that I'll get this in. Well, of course I won't get it in the resin tonight, but this will have to wait till morning, and we should be able to finish it off then. So good night, everyone. Have a great evening. It's getting late here. Thank you all for all you do for me. Please hit the like button if you like what you're seeing, and I will see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning, everyone. I got a few chores done and I'm ready to go, and let's finish this tray. The black has settled. It's set. Well, it's a little tacky, but it's set. And as you can see, I have a few things that protruded. They came up. This area here shows some orange, but we're not going to worry about that because I'm going to cover that up and you'll see. But I want to prepare the tray, and first thing I want to do is take my DecoArt Premium pen in the gold, and I'm going to go around the edges of this tray before we do anything else. Normally I would use my testers, metallic paints, but for today we're just going to use the gold pen, and I'm just going to start here and just do a fine line around the edge with this. Guess I better tap it. Get it down there. I hope this one isn't dry. Well, I'm going to have to try my other pen, but this is what I'm going to do, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got that done, but you know what I noticed when I was going around the edges? This is a plastic platter, so if you are to use something plastic, I would say go around with some sandpaper on the edges and get those rough areas off. I didn't even realize that until I got started, so it's not the best job, but we're still going to work on this. Now, I'm going to flip it over because I think I want some cork on the back, because look at that. Look at that. My paint is peeling, and we can't have that. So, remember the, let me raise you up a little bit. Hold on. Remember the freezer wrap I had for the decoupage? I am going to go around and try just to press the curve of the bottom of this tray, and I'm going to make a template. So I'm just going to go around and press this so I can see where to cut. Just like that. I think I can see that okay. Now I know I dropped my scissors in the garbage. Here we go. So let me go ahead and cut this out. Okay. Let me move our tray. I can double check this by trying to match the edges. See if I've gone off a little bit, which looks like I did there. So let me just trim this real quick, especially right there. Okay. There it is. Now, I've got some cork. This is 1/8 of an inch cork, and it does not have the adhesive, so I made a mistake when I bought it. I wasn't paying attention to the packaging. So it's not adhesive, which means I'm going to have to do that myself. So I am going to trace this template and then cut it out. Find a pen here that works. Like, I always have a bunch of pens and half the time they don't work. All right, let me just go around the edge. Now, most all of the materials I'm using are in my Amazon storefront, so feel free to go there. And then you can go anywhere in Amazon to shop. It's not like you have to purchase from my shop, but most everything I use is listed. Now I'm just going to cut. You know, I've been saving my scraps of cork like this because to me it looks like sand. And if you're going to do some ocean scenes of any kind, whether it be, you know, a tray or coasters, you could use up your cork and put that down as sand. It looks real pretty. There we go. Now the tricky part will be, let's take this out to my shop and I'm going to spray this spray adhesive. This is my Loctite spray adhesive. It works very good, so I will be right back once I get this sprayed and we'll set it on the tray. Okay, this is the real tricky part and I about ran out. So once it touches it, God, it's there for good. I should have made a mark for the middle. Tricky, tricky, tricky. I'm hoping, look at that. It's not easy. Oh no, I'm in trouble, Billy. Where's my center? I should have made a mark. Oops, I just tore a piece. Darn it. Now that's the best we've got. Darn, I messed it up. Well, I'm all sticky. Oh, that's so hard to do. It's not going to look very professional, is it? Got more on that side than this side. Might have to fix that gap. Oh, now I'm all sticky. Let me get my isopropyl alcohol and wipe my hands off. Yeah, didn't turn out very well, but it's on there. You don't have to do it. It's just a matter of, you know, making the bottom look a little better than, oh well, I'm going to have to somehow camouflage that. I don't know how to do that, but anyway, all right. That's on. Oh, look at the dirt. Look at the dirt. Okay, I'll be right back. I have my resin warming up, and we'll do what we can to fix this tray. See you in a minute. You know what? There was something else I forgot I was going to do. I'm just going to tape the edges. I'm not going to press very hard. I don't want my tape to pull off the paint. I might have to repaint that. I guess we'll see, but I wasn't thinking. Just get it around the edges a little bit. because I'm going to resin. I'm not going to bring all the resin up to the top, but I'm going to bring some resin up to the edges as we go along. I'm about out of supplies here. And once again, I need to apologize for this being so late. Had such a busy week. Oh, and I did realize, and I don't know if you've seen it, and I put a few notes on my channel page. There's a comment section. So I've used it a couple times just to fill you in as to what's going on. And I don't know how YouTube lets you see that. But if you go to my home channel page, there's a comment section. So you can add photos. That would be a great way for you to share your projects with me. I'd love to see them. Or you can just comment like I have on the last two. Sorry, I'm late. Sorry, I'm late. But, okay, let me get this up. Now, I'm just going to cut as close to the rim as I can. And it looks very dirty. But, okay, let me just trim. Can you see my reflection? I'm a real mess today. I haven't even combed my hair. It's back with the hairband, and once again I'm in my dirty t-shirt and pajama bottoms. It's just how I roll. I'm over here cutting if you can't see me. Trim that up. Over here, trimming. Oh my goodness, we're back to recording. I thought I lost you. I had to go in and delete pictures real quick. So there's our pumpkin. Turned out really pretty. I'm gonna have to probably make more resin. But to get this video out today, I'll keep trying. So, get this on. Try to get rid of some bubbles. Hope it lays flat. Whew, goodness sakes. Guess I'll have to pay for the cloud or something. Okay, my friends, let me do what I can do. And look how thick that's getting already. Oh, I am going to add more because let me move this down. I wanted to cover this area that's showing. So while I still have you, let me make sure this is somewhat centered. I just stuck my finger in it. It's gold there. We don't need that. Okay, let me show you what I found. I found these leaves, and I think I got them quite a while ago at Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure. But they're sparkly. I don't know if I want a red one. But I did put a brown one. Getting rid of those stickers on the back. Rushed for time, rushed for time. But I thought we could put some down there and cover. some of that. Ooh, here's orange. Isn't that pretty? I have to put one there. Just cover up some of these areas that I'm not real pleased with. I love this brown. Put him down there because there's things there I don't want to see. And I guess we'll put a gold one there too. Or the bronze. Orange, bronze, copper. We'll put those there. And I need another coat of resin. I need to play with it. I hope I don't lose you, and I might. This needs to be pressed down. I'm going to have to watch it for a while, but let me raise you up. And if I can't get my phone straightened up for recording, I'm going to show you. This is as far as it'll go. I'm sorry for moving you, but that is our tray. Pretty, isn't it? Okay. Oh, pardon the light. Let me turn that off. There it is. All beautiful and everything. So I'm going to play with it. Put another coat on it. I have to edit this video. That's for sure. Anyway, take good care, my friends. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate you all so very much. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.